The movie begins with a devoted wife who tirelessly nurses her motionless and speechless husband at home. Despite the doctor's assurance that he should have recovered within 12 to 13 days after his accident, 16 days have passed with no improvement. The woman, left alone with her 2 young daughters aged 3 to 5, struggles to provide for her family. When the children cry out of hunger at night, she puts them to sleep, unable to find any food in the house. The next morning, she visits the pharmacy to obtain more serum for her husband, only to be refused due to unpaid bills. Desperate, she resorts to mixing sugar and water as a substitute. With their financial situation worsening, the woman visits her aunt for help, only to discover that she has been missing for some time. Disappointed and exhausted, she returns home and shares her despair with her husband, reflecting on how his family abandoned them during difficult times. It's revealed that her husband was shot while defending his mother's honor and has been trapped by the false rumors of his involvement in the war against the Taliban. One day, while the woman is away, the children unknowingly remove their father's serum, but she arrives just in time to prevent further harm. Mala, a spiritual figure, visits their home to offer prayers, but the woman refuses, citing her period as a reason. As airstrikes begin, the entire neighborhood takes shelter underground, and when they return, they find their house looted. Her husband's ring and watch are stolen, but the real horror awaits in the yard, where the bodies of their neighbors lie gruesomely murdered. Determined to escape this life, the woman takes her daughters to her aunt's house, but they are initially turned away. Eventually, she finds her aunt, who recounts her own harrowing experiences of killing her stepfather to protect her family. Inspired yet guilt-ridden, the woman returns to her husband, accepting her life and confessing her struggles, including their marriage's hardships. She recalls how she spent the first 3 years of marriage without him, living in fear and discomfort with his family. As she opens up, she reminisces about her childhood, where her father valued his fighting quails more than his daughters. After losing a bet, he married off her older sister to an older man, leading the woman to sabotage the quail fights to escape a similar fate. Pouring her heart out to her immobile husband, she removes his serum, questioning whether he was ever truly a husband to her. Seeking solace, she turns to her aunt, who reassures her that her husband acts as a patient stone, absorbing all her pain and confessions. This realization brings her comfort, and she begins caring for him in a way she never had before, even kissing him for the first time in their 10-year marriage. However, war continues to rage outside, and she hides her husband when soldiers invade their home. To protect herself, she lies to the soldiers, claiming to be a widow and engaging in illicit work to avoid further questioning. However, the young soldier who returns the next day offers her money for companionship. With no other options, she complies and later uses the money to buy medicine and food for her children. Over time, their interactions become frequent, and she confesses everything to her husband, even comparing the soldier favorably. The soldier, showing kindness, fixes their broken door and gifts her food and jewelry. As they grow closer, he reveals his traumatic past, showing scars from his abusive training at the academy. Touched, the woman begins to feel valued for the first time. She continues to confide in her husband, even revealing that he is sterile and their daughters are not biologically his. This revelation triggers an unexpected response. Her husband, thought to be permanently motionless, becomes enraged and attempts to strangle her. In an act of self-defense, she fatally stabs him just as the soldier enters the scene. The soldier, shocked to find the woman standing over her dead husband's lifeless body, stares in disbelief. The woman, breathing heavily, drops the knife and collapses to the floor. Tears stream down her face, but there is also a strange sense of relief in her eyes, an end to the years of silent suffering and unspoken resentment.